Hello shiny stackers and a very warm welcome back to the channel. As you can see in front of me, I've received a few items through the mail which I've got to go through with you all today. Now, I won't be opening the big box right here. This has come from 365 Days of Silver and is some of the giveaway items for the Stackers Social 1 year birthday bash. 365 Days of Silver has already shown these on the channel, so if you are interested as to what's inside this box, just flip over to his channel and he does have a video where he goes through each and every single one of those. However, when I've received all of the items and before we do the 1 year birthday bash live stream, I will be going through each and every single item we have for the giveaway. So bear with me on that one. I will be putting it on the channel very soon, but for now we've got these two little packages right here to go through with you all. So this first one right here looks like it's been sent directly from the Royal Mail, which makes me think it's been received by my good friend Griff, aka CoinNoob71, as he did let me know that he was sending me something across directly from Royal Mail. I'm very intrigued to see what it is, so without any further delay, let's make sure we've got everything out of the envelope right there and we'll have a quick look at what he sent across. Okay, so that's just an invoice and it's got some of mine and Griff's personal details on there, so I won't be showing that on video, but right here I can see something very cool right there, which is Dungeons and Dragons. So without any further delay, let's flip this over and there we have the Red Dragon Dungeons and Dragons. These are so cool, Griff, thank you so much. I believe this is a pack of Dungeons and Dragons themed postcard, and if I get them out of the package right here, as we saw just earlier, that first one right there is the Red Dragon. We also have one of my favourite creatures right here, which is an owl bear right there. I'm very intrigued to see what creatures we're going to get on these. Next up is Vecna. Vecna is a very well-known bad guy in Dungeons and Dragons. He's a lich, and yeah, he comes up in a few of the different campaigns, but we've got Vecna right there. We've got a gelatinous cube, and they are just big gelatinous cubes that walk around absorbing anything that comes in their path. They're made of an acidic material, so once you're trapped inside them, as you can see by these unfortunate warriors right there, they will start to devour you away, leaving only your items of weaponry and armor behind. But that is super cool right there. We have a mind flayer right there, which is kind of like a person with a squid for a head. They have very, very high psychic powers, and yeah, they're something that you need to be wary of when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. But that one, I'm absolutely loving the artwork on all of these, Griff, so thank you so much. This is really cool. This is a mimic, so what a mimic would do is it would sit in the middle of a room disguised as just like any other treasure chest, waiting for an adventurer to come along and open it up, at which point it would spring its trap, showing that it's not actually a treasure chest, it's a mimic, and would devour the adventurer away. So that is super cool. We have a displacer beast right there. They're kind of like cats with very long tendril kind of things of them as well. They're a super cool monster that it's a lot of fun in campaigns to come up against the displacer beast right there. Next up we have a beholder. A beholder is basically just a giant eyeball with loads of different eyeballs coming off. They're immune to magic attacks, and each single one of their eyeballs can use a different type of ray attack. So it looks like we've got some kind of fire ray right there, but we could have a different eye that turns you to stone, or one that shoots lightning, etc, etc. They would all be very different. So yes, a beholder is a very, very powerful and cool monster when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. And next up, just make sure I'm not missing one out. Next one, we have a tiefling rogue. So a tiefling is a type of species. A rogue is a type of character that you can play as. It replaced the thief from the original Dungeons and Dragons, and a rogue is many people's favourite type of character. Tieflings would come from the demonic planes in Dungeons and Dragons, and yeah, very edgy type of character being a tiefling rogue, but that's super cool right there. Next up we have a human bard, and a bard is kind of like a musician. They could play music or sing, and they'll use musical incantations to fight and protect themselves. So that's a bard right there. And we have again, humans just being the species for the bard, which I believe is pretty self-explanatory on that one. We have a halfling cleric. A cleric is a bit like a knight, but a holy knight who serves a deity of one sort or another, and is bestowed some powers from the deity that they serve. So right there we have a halfling cleric. Looks like it's a halfling cleric of good alignment. You can have chaotic evil, good, lawful evil, all those kind of things. But that looks quite a good halfling cleric right there. And Griff, I've got to say, these are really cool. Thank you so much for sending these across to me. You really have picked out something that I absolutely love. And right there we have an elf fighter. A fighter is pretty much what it says on the box. They don't have a lot of magical abilities, but are very proficient in hand-to-hand combat. And right there we have an elf fighter. So once again, elf just being the species and fighter being the character type. So next up we have a Dragonborn Wizard. So Dragonborn are quite a new species when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. They're very popular. They're basically humanoid dragons, and as you can see, this one right here is a wizard, so would have a multitude of different spells at their disposal, all of which will be contained within their spell book right there. And next up we have, let's have a quick look. I think I am missing one there. It's bit stuck together, I believe. Here we go. Let me just put the Dragonborn Wizard right there. And next up we have a Dwarf Paladin. Paladin is quite similar to a cleric, much more like a knight. Think of a holy crusader when you come to a paladin. They once again, like a cleric, will have their powers bestowed upon them by their choice of deity, but will have a lot less powers than a cleric does. A cleric is very useful for a healer, that kind of thing. They normally have a lot of the healing abilities. A paladin will be able to use a few cantrips, etc. And yeah, is very proficient in fighting, a bit like a fighter. But as I say, yeah, imagine a bit of a holy crusader when it comes to a paladin, but you've got a paladin dwarf right there. And last but not least, we have a bit of a group photo right there. And as you can see, you've got the tiefling rogue, the human bard, the halfling cleric, the elf fighter, the dragonborn wizard, and the dwarf paladin right there. And that's a pretty well mixed party right there. One that I certainly wouldn't want to take on myself. I'd much happy be part of that party right there, because it does look a very proficient party. Now, my choice of character hasn't actually been listed in this. It's one of the least popular types of characters. I do like to play as a ranger. Rangers can be very difficult to play as. They don't have a lot of powers, etc. But yeah, I do like to see myself as a bit of a ranger, ranging the forest, making sure all the wildlife are being looked after, that kind of thing. So yeah, personally I like to play as a ranger. If not, it would possibly be a rogue or a fighter for me. But Griff, mate, that is super cool. Thank you so much for sending those across to me, mate. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I really do love them. I love all the artwork on them. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure they go in my memory box for sure. Let me see if I can spread them out a little bit, just so we've got a little bit of colour in the background right there. So we'll try and spread them out just a little bit. There we go, just like that. And I know exactly where I'm going to keep them. I'm going to keep them in the dragon book that you sent across to me, Griff, which I absolutely do love, and I think it goes very well with the postcards right there. So I'll definitely be popping them in there as soon as I finish filming the video. But as I say, there is one more package right here, so without any further delay, let me just get my knife in there and we'll find out what is inside. So right here, it's a bit like one of Jamie's packages, but I can see this has actually come from the fantastic Creative Precious Metals, who does Whiskey Wednesdays every week. He talks about gold, silver and Bitcoin. He has now started the What podcast, which I had the absolute pleasure of joining him on, and right there at the bottom we have his email address right there. So CPM, thank you so much for sending this across, because what we have right here is one of his brand spanking new poker chips, and I absolutely love the design of this one, mate. As you can see right here, we've got his logo with Creative Precious Metals at the bottom right there, and if we have a look at the back, we've got his motto of trust nobody, verify everything. And that's a really funky design right there, CPM, so thank you so much for sending that across. We'll pop it just there for now, but I will definitely get that added to my collection of poker chips, which is ever growing. So thank you to everybody who sent me a poker chip across. I really do appreciate it. I love getting the different poker chip designs. I think they're a lot of fun. one, and it's absolutely fantastic to have one of CPM's in the collection right now, because I know he's only just had those made, so that is a fantastic addition. And Griff, the postcards, mate, I can't tell you how much I love them. They are really are cool. The only problem with them is that they're a little bit too cool for me to use, so I'm definitely going to save them because I like them so much. But no, I thank you so much for they do say it's for thought that matters, and I can see you put a lot of thought in that because it is right up my street. I've not played Dungeons and Dragons in quite some time now. I find it very difficult to find a group to play with. But it is something that I definitely did used to love when I was growing up. So yeah, to have those as a bit of nostalgia is absolutely fantastic. The designs just remind me of images that I would literally spend hours looking at as a kid, whether it either be Dungeons and Dragons like these right here, or Warhammer, which is something else that I was a big fan of as well. But guys, thank you so much for the generosity in sending those across to me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You obviously didn't have to send anything at all, but I'm massively grateful that you did, because I love not only the postcards but the poker chip from CPM as well. As I say, with the big package, I'm going to be doing an unboxing video very soon. I'm just waiting till we've got more items. I'd like to do everything we've got for the giveaway in one video, so as I say, just bear with me a little bit longer on that, and I truly can't wait to go through all the fantastic items that have been donated through the community. I'm going to be popping a few items in there myself as well, and I'll go through those on the video as well. But as I say, for now, just bear with me on that one, and we will be doing an unbox for those items very soon. So that's about all I've got time for today. As I say, it's just a very quick video going through those wonderful items that both Griff and CPM have sent across to me. I'm going to be joined by my good friend Stephen with the Freeze for V's this Saturday on my Stack Chat, so I highly encourage everyone to head on over and join us for that on my channel from 7 PM UK time this Saturday. There's a community post on the community section on my channel, and if you'd like to be entered into the weekly duck race that I run every single week on the channel, all you have to do is go and put a specific comment on that post, and everyone who's posted will be entered into this week's duck race, which we'll be doing around 9 PM on Saturday. So as I say, if you haven't entered as of yet, that's how you can be in with your chance to win one of my channel bundles this Saturday. But as I say, that's probably about all I've got time for today. I've probably rabbled on for long enough now, so I'm going to leave you all in the usual fashion by saying, until next time, look after each other, keep stacking, take care, and goodbye.